What's up guys, it's Acro Brandon and today we're going to talk about headlights for your skateboard. I'm a Meepo board owner, but I'm sure this will work for many other brands of electric skateboard. So I know that shred lights is an option out there. They're 40 bucks, they come with nice brackets, they're little lights, they go on there, they're rechargeable, they're really cool. I think from what I saw on the website that the low light setting is 50 lumens, and if you turn them on high power, that's 80 lumens. And so if that's two lights, that should be a combined output of 160 lumens worth of light. So far, that might be the better option based on what I found so far. So I was trying to build something for less than $40 if I could, and I found a DIY from somebody else who owned an electric skateboard who used these little clamps right here from Home Depot. They are insulated cable clamps. This is a 1-inch, and they're only $1.70 each. I'm not happy with these. I've already broken 4 of them on just one light on one side. I didn't even put 2 flashlights on the board. I didn't crank them down. At first I thought it was me. I thought maybe I had tightened them too tight and that made these twist, and basically what happens is the metal's really thin, kind of cheap, kind of shitty. And if it starts to tweak a little bit, this one snaps, this one eventually rips off. I wasn't happy with this solution, so I think I might go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna head back to Home Depot today. I might try some radiator strap, for the water tank inside your house. It's supposed to be secured to the wall for earthquake preparedness. Let's talk about the flashlight. So I got this flashlight from Walmart. It was only $10, and what I really liked about it is that if you take a look at it, it's perfectly cylindrical, right? It's nice, it's straight, it's the perfect length of the trucks so that you could have one of the clamps here and another clamp here in the front, and then you're still able to unscrew the battery part of it and replace the batteries without having to take it off. So I thought, okay, let's give it a try, because this is supposed to be rated at 200 lumens of light. Fucking bright, right? So one flashlight alone would have the same output as both shred lights. And then if you use 2 of them, one on each side, you would have up to 400 lumens of light output. So that was the thing. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of test video of me riding down the street with these bulbs, or with these flashlights. I'm actually gonna return these as well. What I found is that the road vibration made the light flicker. Okay, I thought it was maybe just the first flashlight, so I swapped the first one in, put a second one in. These are not gonna handle it. I don't know if it's the fact that it's a surface mount diode, right? Or an LED, but it's a surface mount. An SMD. I don't know if that's the reason why it flickers, and maybe if I had a regular, more traditional LED bulb type of bulb in a flashlight, that might work a little bit better and not flicker, but we won't know yet until I get the radiator strapping, and maybe I'm just gonna go back and get the cheaper flashlights that they have. The output of light onto the road, I still wasn't pleased with, okay? For 2 reasons. One, if you take a look at the Meepo board, you'll notice that it's not concave, but it's convex, so it's rounded like this from point to point. So if it's rounded and you put the flashlight on it, it's actually pointing more down towards the ground. So what I did is, to correct for the downward angle on the trucks, is I put a spacer on the back mount, like maybe a 1/4 inch spacer, so that would level out the flashlight, so it would shine straighter down the road. At a standstill, it worked pretty good. I feel like my expectation from a headlight would be like my car's headlights, which I know is unrealistic. The bright side is that I splurged a little bit. I ordered a new rear tail light, and I ordered one of the diver's lights for the GoPro. I've seen some other people like recommending those, so I got one off of Amazon. That should be here later this week, and we're gonna throw that on. But if you're watching this review now, that means that light's already here, and I already have information to give you. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got so far. All right, what's up people? So I know it's kind of dark out. I just got dropped off by the train. Today's the first time I've been riding in the dark, so I'm testing out this little ghetto flashlight that I got at Walmart for 10 bucks, which is supposed to have 200 lumens of output. So I'll show you right here in the parking lot, but it's a little bright because of the parking lot lights. so you may not get the best example of the light output. So right now you can kind of see like it is spraying forward. It doesn't really go as far as I would like, and actually when I was riding in the city it was kind of like flickering on and off. Okay, so I'm back. Just made a few returns to Home Depot, Walmart, you know, they take all sorts of shit back. No big deal. Got a few supplies. We'll talk about each one. Got some more cheap flashlights. Got this hanger stuff right here. A bottle of Smirnoff because it's Saturday night, the girlfriend's gone, and I ain't got nothing better to do but do some nerdy shit on the board. Oh yeah, that's good. All right, let's get this Saturday started. So, back at Walmart, went back to the flashlight department. Nothing really good. Still using the Ozark Trail flashlights. These ones are only 80 lumens. They're still the same shitty little surface mount diode LED that's in there. Oh shit, I didn't even take out the little plastic thing. There we go, right? Bright as all hell, still. So I won't be quite as disappointed if these ones don't work and still flicker on and off as I ride the board, because these were only like $1.50 each. I could keep them, I could return them. I don't know, we'll see what happens. All right, so it's a new day. I didn't get really anything accomplished last night except for a couple tall ass cocktails. It's really hot out today. It's Sunday. It's only 11 a.m. It feels like it's 90 degrees already here in Connecticut. So that's a good excuse for me to take the board out. I'm gonna roll up to Lowe's. It's only a mile down the road. I'm gonna see if I can find some different thicker metal clamps that I might be able to use. I know they have these half-size ones that kind of like go around like this and then come out to the sides. So maybe I can make kind of a sandwich or find a way to get them underneath the board and strap. But regardless, that's not even a word. Regardless, I just want to go for a quick ride. Should be fairly safe to get down to Lowe's. And let's see if we can find something better that works, because I'm starting to run out of options, good options, without having to buy shred lights. The other good news is that I got the email this morning from Amazon that tomorrow my new Blitzu tail light will be here, and the diver's light that I had mentioned earlier, that will be delivered tomorrow as well. So tomorrow we should be able to wrap up everything and test out the lights. All right, so let me show you what I got. I actually found a big fucking bag of tools that I don't need because they didn't sell them singularly. I had to buy like a bag of 20, but that's okay. They were only $4. So these are 3/4 inch, right? Conduit tab holders, right? They hold it to the wall. Substantially thicker than the other one that I have. So I'm actually quite happy with the way it's holding on the board right now. So I'm gonna show you. So you can see, right, I have it here mounted to the board. It looks like there's a little bit of space here, but there's no way this flashlight is coming out of here. So as you can see, right, the board kind of curves down this way, which means that if this is mounted flush to the bottom part of the board on the front and the back, that the beam of light is going to be shooting straight down in front of the board, maybe like 2 feet. So what I might do is I'm gonna come back here and maybe put like a washer or something that will gap this and make the flashlight sit a little bit more flush underneath the truck so that the beam of light shoots straight out away from the board instead of down in front of it. So now if I turn the board over, okay, what I did for right now is I put this between the truck and the riser to make it clamp the flashlight harder to the board. but it wasn't too bad having it right here initially. I might go back and change it. I'm not sure yet. Just for the back one, I kept this one up here right on top of the truck in between the bolt. That way later on, when I put a washer or something in here to try and level out the light beam, there's a little bit of space. All I really did was push this bracket down because the metal still can bend a little bit, but it's a lot more solid and rigid than those other clamps that I'm using. So I think this might actually be a better solution. Right now, it's metal on metal, so I don't even feel like I can push the flashlight out of these brackets. Okay, so check it out. It just got dark out. I'm gonna go do a little night ride for you guys and test these lights out and see if they still flicker, and B, what the projection is like. So as you can see, I decided to do both of them. Might as well, right? I mean, if I'm gonna do the test, I might as well test both lights and see how they hold up. You can see I have the brackets here. This one is in between the truck and the riser, and then the one in the back here, if you can see that, that is hooked just to the outside of the truck. Then on the side, I don't know if you can see this, so you can see in there, in between the back part of it, I put a washer, and this is actually the washers that came off of the bushings here when I switched for the orangutan nipples to try and level out the light. So if you look at the board now, you can see that the light is a little bit more straight or level, and hopefully that will give the light projection forward. And I think with these, even though this is a little open on the side here, I feel like it's actually pinched in there really well. So we'll see if they come falling out. I mean, who cares? They're only $1.50, and we'll see what's gonna happen here. So right now this is the light projection on the street. We're gonna write it down. We'll go around to the park. It might be open, it might be closed. So far, these ones are actually holding up better than the other. I think this is definitely gonna need a little bit of like deadening to see what happens here. But so far I'm actually liking the light projection a little bit better on this than the other lights before. Actually, the light projection is pretty good on these. I think this is almost better than the other one. Yeah, this is good. Surprisingly. So yeah, so far, I mean, you can see the light projection, right? Let's see here. So we're getting decent light projection off of it. Probably getting like 15 to 20 feet of throw. I actually like this a lot better. So somehow, flashlights that are $1.50 and only 80 lumens each somehow are projecting more light than the $10 ones that were supposed to be 200 lumens each. So I guess this is the better way to go. Now I got to work on the rattling issue, but this is pretty fucking good right here as is. I'm excited because I got my new headlight and my tail light, so we're gonna do a little impromptu unboxing before I slap this on and get you some results. Okay, so we're actually gonna do the first test of the new headlight and the tail light. I don't have the tail light mounted the way I want to. It's been a super long ass day, 2 hours plus in traffic on the way home from fucking New York City. So I really need this ride. Luckily, the girlfriend's tired, wants a bottle of wine, so I'm gonna ride the board to the liquor store and back. And we're gonna go through the dark ass park first and maybe pull a lap or two just to make sure that the headlight's working and bright as bright can be, and the tail light, and then if that's working pretty good, we'll carry on the rest of the way. All right, let's have fun. Let's take a look and see how this looks, yeah? Hopefully the GoPro is showing you how much it projects out. It comes all the way, it comes out really, really wide. And then on the back, have the tail light going. Looks pretty sexy. And that's not even on the high setting. So if I turn it all the way, this is probably number 2, 4. That's the brightest, yeah? So if I have it super bright, I mean, it's pretty awesome looking, I think. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go put the GoPro on the fence over here, which you can't see because it's dark as shit, and take a lap around the park, and you can kind of see what it looks like from a distant bird's eye view. Oh, I know you can't see me. That was fucking awesome. I ate shit right when I took off. I don't even know what the fuck was over there. It was either a Pomeranian or a baby skunk. I don't know, but it scared the fuck out of me. Well, we made it to the liquor store. Way back is going to be the test. All right, so let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching. I know this was a long DIY review or whatever else it is you want to call it, but let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? So the flashlights, the $1.50 flashlights, the brackets, fucking champs. They work. So get those brackets that I recommend. No breakage, no issues whatsoever. The flashlights, though, they still make noise and rattle, okay? So earlier I said I was going to address this. Vibration is like gonna kill everything when it comes to lights. The wheels are hard, everything's mounted to the trucks, right? There's no shocks. It's not like a bike where they have like rubber tires with, you know, a little bit of like dampening, okay? So the flashlights still rattle. What I did initially is if you look inside the flashlight, so this is the inner part, and the batteries go inside of it in that little, you know, 3 AAA deal, there was about a 1/16 of an inch of play from the side of the wall to the battery holder. So I thought I might be able to like muffle it down by shoving a piece of paper in there that I folded really thick to kind of push it against the one side of the wall. It actually worked for a day, but then the paper eventually gets a little bit flatter. So last night I wrapped a little bit of duct tape, some really thin strips around the top and around the bottom, and shoved it back in there, and it's really snug inside, and it seems to be really quiet. Now it's kind of stupid because what am I going to do every time the batteries die or need to be replaced? I've got to untape the carriage thing and then tape it back up. Stupid solution. So right now it's working as a test, but if it's something that I want to try and use on the regular, I'm going to have to come up with a better solution to try and make that piece fit inside there a little more snug so there isn't so much vibration. For the tail light, unfortunately, after one day in Manhattan, the tail light stopped working from Blitzy right here, right? You can kind of hear, listen. Can you hear that clicking sound? I don't remember if that was there from the beginning. Maybe I just got a shitty light right off the bat, or maybe the vibration as well has something to play into that, because at first it was working fine. I turned it on, you know, and then 10 minutes later, it wasn't going on the back of the board. Turned it back on, 2 blocks later, the light turned off. By the time I got home, this thing wouldn't work. I thought it was dead, which made no sense because I've only used this thing for maybe an hour at most, but realistically 30 minutes. So I plug it in, it turns on. I pull the USB out, it turns off. So now we're at a place where it only works if it's on a powered source. But let's look at what I was doing for the mounting solution right now. So for the original build, what I did is I took a couple of those L brackets, These are the 1 inch, and I took a 1 inch and matched it to another 1 inch, right? These trucks had extra holes, so what I did is I tapped it up top. You can see this is the original hole for the trucks that they came with, and there's another set of holes in the truck that are slightly forward. So I re-tapped through the board and dropped a little bit of a longer screw through. That way this bracket would be inset a little bit further underneath the deck. Does that make sense? Because I'm trying to keep the light from being out here behind the tail, because I really like to tip my board up and stand it on end sometimes. So I'm trying to keep the light underneath the tail as much as possible. So what I did is I put a little bit of Velcro here, and then I put some Velcro underneath the light. That way when I set the Blitzu on there, it keeps it from shifting left and right. And then I use a hair tie, just like with the original Meepo light that we got, and I loop it around from side to side. I'll show you what it looks like right now. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, I have the hair tie looped here. It goes around the back of the truck and back into here. Then I have a little bit of Velcro on the bottom of the Blitzu and on the bracket to keep it from shifting side to side. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but on the Blitzu, the original mount has a little square thing right there, which actually prevents it from going any further underneath the truck, because there's like the little ball of the truck here. Let me see if I can get a side view of that, right? So if you can see the little round knob here, it keeps it from going all the way flush. So what I might do is I might try and cut that off on the next one, and it'll sit more back against the back plate, and it'll sit even more flush. The other option is to use the original bracket that came with it, looped with the hair tie like I just showed you, and then it'll sit there. And then this might absorb a little bit more vibration and keep this from breaking next time. So I don't know, I need to tinker with it. I need to send it back. I need to get a new one. I need to figure out what the problem is. So stay tuned. So hopefully you can see this clearly. So this is the original bicycle mount that comes with the Blitzu. I would really like to utilize this if I can. The issue is that this thing will never sit flush on the truck because the truck is on an angle. So we have these L brackets that I have in here. And the nice thing about this too is that I didn't know this until afterwards, but in here you can loosen this screw and you can actually make it tilt up or down. So once I turn the board over, you'll see it sitting a little more flush. It's on here pretty secure. I'm using a hair tie from my girlfriend. I know, advanced technology, but it actually works really, really good. So my friends, there isn't much left to say except the diving light, right? So here's the diver's light that I got. This thing is by far the best. If you're looking for something that's actually gonna project light onto the road, that's usable light, this is it right here. And people see me coming, driving through Manhattan, they're like, what the hell is that? They know something's coming. It's actually pretty awesome. The only problem with it, once again, vibration. So what would happen is I would put it on the board, I crank this mount down as tight as I would, but the vibration would shake the light and it would fall forward, going flat or to the back, usually forward, because you want to have it, right? So you're on the front of the board, so you have it like this, and it's naturally going to fall forward. So the quick solution that I have right now is a couple screws, which I screwed underneath to keep it from falling forward right now, and later I will paint them black. This is the best.